So, most startups don't fail because their idea is bad. They fail because they were never designed to scale. And I think often visionary founders just hate hearing that because they just love to focus on their idea. And it is amazing and they're great at explaining it, but investors and lawyers and accountants and many partners that they'll encounter aren't as sold by it as others may be. So I found this amazing article called Entrepreneurial Growth Smarter Scaling Strategies, Volume 3. And it is by, I'm sorry to say this wrong, Professor Suryanara Yana, sorry, from Osmania University, Mahatma Gandhi, in 2025. And I just want to point out some parts of this article that I thought were amazing. The whole article is amazing, but just some parts here. So most startups don't die. Oh, sorry. They do. We all know this. Most startups die. And it's, okay, sorry. Most startups die. Their scaling stunted by a fatal degree of prematurity. And so it's not their idea that failed. It's not that the company couldn't succeed. It's that they just didn't, plan for their scaling properly. So yes, again, like visionaries are so great at the idea. And it does, again, it makes me think of those Chanel ads that it's some of the best campaigns ever. But they're selling the idea and romance and, the feelings that you should get from it and not the perfume. And, investors and, these technical people like lawyers and accountants, they want to hear about the ingredients and where they're made and all this other like boring stuff. So this article is just so great at this. So again, they talk about how it's, again, it's not the idea, it's that the company couldn't support the idea at scale. It's scaling before structural foundation is ready for it. And I think often visionaries can struggle to slow down when something goes wrong. They realize that something's going to cost more money than expected and, say like, that's okay. Like, I'm going to make it up on volume, because I'm so great at this. And I think sometimes they're, not really realizing or thinking about the fact that, well, your cost can scale alongside that volume. And also your exposure to risk can scale alongside it. And also, why did that problem happen in the first place? Was it some regulatory problem? Did you realize that there was some certification that you didn't know that you needed? Some insurance, for example, which, in the, med tech realm, that can mean, oh, I need this insurance that I didn't realize, which means that, that I need even more insurance that I didn't realize, and all these things. So I think sometimes it can be tough for visionaries to take a step back at that point. And Gino Wickman talks about this in Traction. So great, you should check it out. He talks about how visionary founders tend to have the personality where their foot's just kind of on the gas and they're just going forward and, they're great at that part. But if they don't slow down and have, somebody or themselves stop on the brakes, they don't have tractions and they can just be really spinning their wheels. So let's see. Great quote from this article was that equally important is the mindset of the founder. Studies confirm that to scale, founders must let go of their product-centered visionary hat. They must let go of their product-centered visionary hat and focus on the role of a growth-oriented architect and organizational builder. So, let's see. Okay, so you are great at, the selling part and, that comes really naturally to you. For me, I'm not as great at, that part. That doesn't come as naturally to me, and communicating it doesn't. So that's why I'm here working on, my professional delivery in this way with these sort of, one-take communication challenges for myself where I'm doing some research and writing a few notes and then I'm saying it into the camera and then posting it on the internet to challenge myself. And so that said, if you disagree with anything that I said or you have any feedback, please let me know. And, if you would like to join me on this journey where I'm working on my communication and I'm also building my own company, Superette, a shop for business structure, in public. So yeah, if you'd like to, then, subscribe and join me on this journey, and I hope you have a great day.